So this week I decided I would watch all the way through Ti West's trilogy, following the release of his third and hopefully final film in this series, MaXXXine. Entering into the first two films, I had reserved expectations as it seemed to be just a passion project of pastiche, but I was pleasantly surprised with X, which is a pretty smart and fun exploitation slasher that takes a unique approach to the edit. I love how it ripped at the fragile nature of directors at the center of the film as well. Even with a rough start and finish, it lands as a serviceable horror film. Pearl, on the other hand, is such a strange movie, an ode to the cinescope era of filmmaking, featuring a digital LUT that has the look of an Instagram filter. But Pearl smartly centers on the dynamic and exciting performance of Mia Goth, a performance that perfectly matches the tone of this wildly delirious woman who really believes that she's Judy Garland. The trouble comes in the back half of the film as it moves away from the darkly comedic tone of the first half and transitions into a much more self-serious finale that doesn't quite land fully for me. Though out of the three, it's certainly the film I would love to return to the most. For all its flaws, Pearl had a direction and a focus, even if the rigor of the direction felt loose at points. It was an effective showcase of a mesmerizing performance. Because if we're truly honest, Mia Goth is why this film and series are as captivating as they are. So to say that I was shocked when I saw MaXXXine is an understatement. MaXXXine is a film that rejects what made its predecessors so enjoyable. Movies with a simple plot and simple ideas that allow the director to get out of the way of the performances, with just enough variation and humor in the editing and cinematography to keep you guessing. MaXXXine, however, overwhelms the audience from the start with an onslaught of minor characters who all feel like they're acting in different movies. And to the actors' credit, they are in a movie that wants to be 5 different movies at the same time. At multiple points in the first hour of this film, I told myself, okay, this is where the movie is going. And then another plot line appeared. And look, this is not me saying that a film with a ton of different plot lines that never really feel fully resolved can't work as a film. I mean, hell, Mulholland Drive is right there. A movie with endless side characters, plot lines, and Hollywood pastiche. The difference is David Lynch understands tone and focus. That film feels entirely interested in our central character, a woman who too is lost in the land of the stars, fighting her past to achieve some level of fame and success. However, West can't decide on how to focus on this character. Unlike in his previous film Pearl, where he crafted the story and the genres around the character, it feels like the style is suffocating. What Ti West tries to jam in 108 minutes just feels like too much for him, making the film feel so deeply disconnected from the others in this series, which is not a bad thing entirely. But when you make the final act a wrapping up of the series kind of ending, it takes away from what little emotional connection I already had with this story in the first place. Because I do think that the central idea of these films could make for a very interesting story. How 2 different women of 2 different decades were stifled in their pursuit of stardom by a suppressive society that pushed them to the edge, to do whatever it takes to make it in the industry. Because I think there might be a good movie in here, one that leans more into the Miss 45 style revenge plot and less into the satanic conspiracy film. And you can tell that West is studied in the style and genre of the time, with split screen shots and a grimy feel of the coloring and costumes. With a more direct story and focus on its central character, this could have been a decent picture to sit alongside these other good movies in the series. But instead, West's strengths become his weakness, leaving his star to swim through the muck of a messy script and uncontrolled tone, having learned nothing new about this character or having any glimpse at growth. So at the end of the day, what you're left is watching Ti West attempt to remake something that others did far better, and from a place of honesty, instead of a copy and paste version of Abel Ferrara and Brian De Palma. So in the end, what I really enjoyed about this series was Mia Goth's performance, and it's unfortunate that the film is unable to prop up her as a star as much as the previous 2 films. And so that reason is the major reason why I feel like it's an ultimate failure. So with that being said, I would give this film like a 1.5 stars out of 5. I honestly felt like it's one of the worst movies I've seen this year. It's just unfortunate because I actually really did enjoy those first 2 movies. And so with that being said, I would love to recommend just a couple of films that I think that are doing similar things to what's going on here, but work on a much better level. So first and foremost, I would recommend Mulholland Drive, which I talked about earlier, where it's about a star entering in LA, and there is a ton of minor characters and a lot of fun pastiche being played within the film, but it works so much better as a mood piece as well. Once again, I'm talking about David Lynch. This is the second video in a row, but it's true, he's the best. Secondly, I'd like to shout out Abel Ferrara's Miss 45. This is a movie that is not going to be for everyone, and so I want to preference that because there is a lot of dark stuff in these movies, but MaXXXine is touching on this like exploitation style of filmmaking that focuses on these like strong heroine characters that go through something traumatic and then have to like, they fight back in a way that's not normally like seen as a feminine thing to do. But I really do think that movie is very effective in what it's trying to portray. And lastly, I do want to like, I don't want to completely bash Ty West because I do think that he does have, there's something there, and I just think that this one in particular was a failure. So the one pick that I would have for him is Pearl, which is just featuring a phenomenal performance from Mia Goth. I think, honestly, it probably should have just been nominated for an Oscar that year. Unfortunately, the Oscars never seem to highlight performances like that. And honestly, like, Ty West should just be writing a check to Mia Goth because she really is what is so fascinating about this trilogy and why I'm so frustrated with this film in particular, and how it really doesn't utilize her at all. While unfortunately this is not the film that I think we all might have expected it to be or wanted it to be, I do think that this year is proving up to be a great year for horror, and so hopefully this will just kind of move on quietly to the background. So with that being said, I hope that you all have a great day. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, join the channel, comment what you thought about the film, and I'd love to hear what y'all had to say. I'd love to hear if you enjoyed the movie. I'd love to hear your take on it as well. Thank y'all for watching, and I hope y'all have a great day.